Hi everyone, I'm Kim Matone, and this is a new episode of Matone Counseling's Raindrops on Roses. And today I have with us Karen Matson, and I'm so excited that you have agreed to join us. Karen is our longest staff member you've been with us almost 10 years. I mean, you're like in a month, I think. You're 10 years with us. So, and I think what's so great about Karen for me is that you started in Charlotte and at our Cotswold. Our first location was in Cotswold in Charlotte. And you were next to me for quite a while. And then when I moved to South, I brought you along. I knew I needed Karen to be, and you had to be by my side, for me. And so your office was then next to me for years at the South Charlotte office before you decided to move up here to Asheville, and I missed you every day because it was so nice to bounce things off of you. But tell me first, what brought you into the field of counseling or social work?
Well, it's really interesting. Back in the day, I was going to major in psychology or art. I was going to be an artist. I had not taken any formal classes. I just loved drawing. I was good at sketching. And so my first class is in college for an art major. So my first class experience, the professor tells us to draw something in the room. And of course, I'm freaking out. I don't know, what am I going to do? It's got to be perfect. And so finally, toward the end of our allotted time, I saw a light socket and I just drew it, sketched it real quick. So then he takes all our papers and hangs them up around the room and spends the rest of the lecture yelling at us about we didn't know what art was and who did we think we were. And so in that moment, my wounded self decided I can't do this. So I canceled all my art classes and went the psychology route. Because there was, of course, for a lot of us, there are things we're trying to figure out about our own lives that lead us to psychology and trying to understand ourselves and others better. And so I did my bachelor's in psychology. And then at the time, I was told that the clinical social work was the most versatile route to go. So I got my master's in clinical social work and haven't looked back. I feel really fortunate that I found a purpose early on and it has fulfilled me and hopefully helped others.
Oh, I know it's helped others. And I think that's a wonderful story in that I'm so grateful that we have you as a social worker. But I think that, that just shows how one person can squash probably not just your dreams, but some other people's dreams in that class too.
It's really interesting because I know people who went on and did get the art degree and are artists. And so what I didn't realize at the time was that in my life journey of understanding and healing myself, I didn't realize that I was overreacting to a core wound, which led me to my studies and interest in doing inner child work. And back in the old school, I was taught transactional analysis, which I think is a precursor to IFS. Where people first started being aware of parts and doing parts work.
Internal family systems. Parts work. And I remember you talking about this many years ago. And I mean, probably 8 years ago. I remember you were like, "This is the greatest thing," and I hadn't heard a lot about it, and now we're hearing so much about it, and so many people are using parts work.
Mhm.
Tell me a little bit more about um, inner child and how that works with your clients.
I work with adults and couples, and so there's the stereotypical therapist statement, "Tell me about your childhood." Well, it's true. A lot of our core beliefs about ourselves and the world start from childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And really, when as adults, we're really moving from an external locus of control to an internal locus of control. And what that means is, as children, our world is very much defined about how do people see us? Am I good? Am I bad? Am I in trouble?
Yeah.
And the primitive brain naturally gravitates to the negative things because there's this internal self-protective mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if I was hurt in this situation, I'll never do it again. If I draw a picture in an art class and I'm shamed for it, I'll never do that again. So the power of these influences on us when we're children and core wounds that we may develop, because again, I've got to protect myself.
Mm-hmm.
If someone says they love me and then walks away, my core wound could be I'm unlovable. If someone says they're my friend one day and then they're not my friend the next day, I don't belong.
Mm-hmm.
If I bring home a report card and there's all A's and a C, and why did you get that C?
Yeah.
It's never enough.
Yeah.
And so we can spend our lives protecting ourselves from hearing those messages, or having facing that, oh my gosh, I really am not enough. I really am unlovable.
Mm-hmm.
And so we put up defenses. And as children, that's the best we can do. We don't have our fully developed brain.
Yeah.
And under stress, and that stress can be taking in all these messages of I'm not enough, the brain shuts down into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode. I'm going to avoid situations where I could look stupid. I'm going to avoid situations where I risk being my authentic self.
Mm-hmm.
We avoid in order to protect ourselves.
Right.
And
yeah.
So our challenge as we move into adulthood is accessing our fully developed adult brain and being able to identify what wounded beliefs did I develop that weren't true.
Mm-hmm.
And our adult brain gives us a bigger picture, a bigger perspective about what's true, what's real. A parent may have been very verbally abusive.
Mm-hmm.
And as you grow up and observe, wait, they treat everybody like that. It wasn't just me.
Yeah.
And so part of our adulthood is figuring out how to dismantle wounded beliefs that we developed in childhood.
Okay.
And so then our goal as adults is how do I heal any woundedness? And you can see in adults that you know today, they did something that made no sense. That was such a disconnect. Why did they think it was okay to do that? Well, it's not the adult brain that they are functioning from. It's some wound
Mm-hmm.
or unresolved trauma or that primitive response, fight, flight, freeze, fawn, that led them to act a certain way.
When you say fight, flight, freeze, fawn, what do you mean by fawn?
Fawn came later to the fight, flight, freeze, and it's about people pleasing And so think about a child who, when you're young, the adults around you are the ones with the power.
Mm-hmm.
And so their feelings matter more than the child's does.
Yeah.
And so fawning, people pleasing is a way to, I'll appease them. So if they're okay, maybe I'll be okay for a while.
Oh boy. Yeah.
And so it takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot to be yourself, to find yourself.
Mm-hmm.
The adolescent is their phase of development, according to Erickson's phases, is identity versus inferiority.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I? And there needs to be a whole lot of support and validation and mirroring to get you to that point where you can come up with or identify yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to people all ages who will say, I still don't know who I am.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, especially so I work primarily with women.
Mm-hmm.
And I see so much with women, and then they become mothers,
Mm-hmm.
and all their energy goes into
Mm-hmm.
being a mother,
Mm-hmm.
and they forget what they like to do.
Mm-hmm.
I've even experienced some of that for myself,
Mm-hmm.
And then once the kids are grown, what is it that you like to do?
Mm-hmm.
And that can take a lot of work. And it may be that you take up art again,
Mm-hmm.
or something you used to like, or find something completely new. Yeah. Yeah. So I see people pleasing a lot in, I see it some in men, sure, but I tend to see that a lot in women. I almost feel like in our society, women are brought up to, like, the more you help people, the better.
Yeah, and I think as a caregiver myself, or as somebody who feels called to be of service,
Yeah.
it has taken a lot for me to find that balance between I am there for others and I do get to have my own identity.
Right. Your own time, and you got to have your own self-care, self-worth.
And so part of our healing as adults is transactional analysis calls our inner critic our parent.
Okay.
To what degree do we have nurturing parent messages that we can say to ourselves?
Okay.
You matter, you're enough, I believe in you. There is no failure, just keep going.
Yeah, keep trying.
Many people can identify with critical parent messages in the form of judgment, labels, you're good, you're bad, you should do it this way, you shouldn't do it that way. Right. And so I find a lot of people still need a lot of help with what do they say to themselves. It's trite but true that the relationship you have with yourself is the most important one. Mm-hmm. And after the phase of isolation, identity versus isolation, no, it's identity versus inferiority. The next phase is intimacy versus isolation.
Okay. Yeah.
As an adult. And so I have to know myself and have a good relationship with myself in order to go out in the world and have good relationships with others.
Right. You have to love yourself first.
And isolation is the counterpart to that. If I'm not enough, to what degree do I go within or just doom scroll or avoid connection?
Yeah. How are you seeing things? You've been in the field quite a while. So since the pandemic, how have you seen changes in our young people with their people pleasing or not, or struggling to find an identity, or being isolated, almost because they were forced to be isolated for a while. We all were. How have you worked with your clients with that?
It's interesting because I've had some clients who have social anxiety anyway and felt relieved that they didn't have to go out and socialize.
Yeah.
It's socially acceptable now to avoid
Right.
social contact.
Yeah. But then it just makes it worse the more you avoid social contact. Yeah. And it made it harder to get out.
Yeah, I talked to a lot of people who are still struggling with uh, socializing. How do I make friends?
Yeah.
It's easy to be behind a screen,
Yeah.
and it's not as easy to be in person.
Yeah.
And so I think there's a lot more challenges about
Yeah.
in person human connection.
Yeah. Yeah. There's still so much value in that. And I think in some ways it's been it's been lost. But I think I'm hopeful that we can bring it back and have that intimacy and the connection, the energy within the same room as one another.
It's real interesting. I was talking to a teacher who had online students for a couple of years, I think,
Yeah.
because of the pandemic. And now them getting back into the classroom and interacting with people has been really challenging, and there's been a lot more acting out behavior. And it was really interesting. She teaches high school seniors, I think. But she was saying how she has a couple. There is a couple in her class, and who've been dating in person in real life for a year. And she said they are so much more mature.
Wow.
Like they get the importance of reading the room and regulating your emotions and having a healthy conversation.
Yes.
So
yeah, they don't have that option to black out the screen in a conference thing, yeah.
I think that people now, I think especially young people, are faced with more of an identity crisis because we have access to comparing ourselves to the whole world.
I know.
And feeling not enough when you were growing up where I was in rural West Virginia. There's just a town that knows you.
Right. My little middle school, and my little core group of friends, I'll never forget when they decided they didn't like me at one point and they did a little circle around me and kicked me. It was horrible. But I can't imagine okay, would I rather that be with only 10 people knowing about that, or that happening, being recorded, on video and then sent across to 500 of, so-called friends. I mean, it is. I don't know how they do it. And yeah, we do have to counsel some of our teens and our young adults and even people our age, comparing ourselves.
I have found, getting older, having been a therapist for 35 years, a lot of people who come who are in their 60s, they're almost forgotten. And several of them have sent me an article that was in the New York Times about adults whose adult children no longer value what they have to say. They love them, but no longer value them. And so there are many times in our life where we expect things to go a certain way. In my 30s, it'll be like this. In my 40s, it'll be like this. Right. In my 50s or 60s, I have these warm, hallmark relationships with my adult children. And then to find themselves detached or not valued for what they have to share is a devastating realization. And so all ages, people in their 50s, 60s, 70s, need to find their identity apart from I'm a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm a caretaker. It's on us to find our value and our purpose in life, regardless of who is in our lives or who chooses not to be in our lives.
Yeah.
There is there's a metaphor I like to share. I borrowed it from Anita Morjani. She wrote a book called Dying to Be Me. And this is a metaphor about dealing with anxiety. It's about being nurturing to yourself, working on your healing. And the metaphor goes, let's say there's a big warehouse. And in this warehouse, there's boxes with all your experiences, all your memories. Now, when we are shut down we think a threat's happening, we go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn mode, it's like we're in that warehouse and it's pitch black, but we have a flashlight and we're shining that flashlight on this one experience. I'm not enough, my kids aren't there for me anymore, I lost my job, whatever. It's in that one box, and that's what we're focused on. And so with healing, with having access to the prefrontal cortex and the parietal lobe, our healthy self goes into that warehouse and turns on the light and sees it all. The big picture, the successes, the losses, but remembering the successes, remembering the times you made a difference, or the time someone really appreciated you, or the moment of joy with your children, or the successful moment at work, or the time you got out of bed when you didn't feel like it. We tend to have an all or nothing approach to our successes, and I do a lot of work on really giving yourself permission to look at all the positives.
So, having been a counselor, sharing a wall with you, I would sometimes hear you cheer and yay and have a loud laugh, and I have a loud laugh too. And I think we would hear each other at times when we knew we were having successes with our clients. Tell me about how you celebrate your successes with your clients, and I think that's so great. Tell me how you do that.
There's a quote, I think it's from Howard Thurman, that says, "Don't ask what the world needs, ask what makes you come alive and do it." Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And so, we carry this inner child with us no matter what our age. And hopefully we have access to that healthy child self, that spark of aliveness, that part of us before the world told us we weren't enough. Before we tried something and failed and decided to never try again. There was a curiosity and awe about life. And I want to learn. And that looks like fun. I'm going to try it. And being uninhibited and in the moment. And just trying because it looked like fun. Not worrying about, am I good enough? Did I do it right?
What somebody's going to say about me, judge me.
And so I really believe in helping people find that spark and own that spark of aliveness. And so we do celebrate. We celebrate big wins. We
Mhm.
celebrate small wins.
Yeah, yeah. And I have tears in my eyes because I know, like, it's tough. It's tough to be um, uh, just in this world, really, and walking with our clients, and having gone through. I mean, I know I've been through some of my own hardship and pain, but grasping deep down and using that to help others has been wonderful for me. And I can see it in you, and I've heard it from you before. Yes. Yeah. So, okay, this is a little bit change topic a little bit. So, Raindrops on Roses is now you've seen Sound of Music, correct?
Oh, I was gonna maybe be the first one to say yes. I've seen it, and we did a medley in state chorus.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I'm a big movie buff. I love that. I love that movie with many, many other movies and TV shows and stuff. But particularly the song that's in there when she sings about all the comforting things to her has always helped me since I was little. Is there a movie, an artist, a song, something that comforts you, that you listen to, recommend to other people?
You know, a movie I watch every year is It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
A core message is that you matter.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea the impact you might have had on someone.
Right.
And you get to see how all of that comes back, and we're living our lives and we don't know necessarily how the positive ripple effect.
Yeah.
But it's so valuable to keep being yourself, doing a purpose, a big purpose, a small purpose.
And I wanted to do these videos for several reasons. One, so many counselors, I want people to get to know them better. And in the future, I'm going to have some community partners as well. But also just to share hope and resilience and Raindrops on Roses, the mix of that, something beautiful can come out of pain, is really our Matone Counseling origin story. Yeah.
Yeah, you've done from your own heart and your own healing. You've had such a big impact in so many ways, and this is just one more way that you want to make a difference for people.
Yeah, you're helping me with what I'm trying to say, Karen. You can read my mind. Yes, and so this is another way through this, and I want to destigmatize mental illness and normalize it, and that so many of us have struggles and have been able to come through it on another side and have been stronger for it.
I like to, part of our healing is looking for the empowered meaning, no matter what's happened in our lives. The things that broke us, that helped us to create a deeper sense of strength or to find our identity. And so I'll talk a lot to people about there's the event and there's what we make it mean. And those are two different things. The event is the professor yelled at all of us in an art class. Yeah. What do we make it mean? Some people make it mean, oh, he's a jerk. Some people make it mean, I'm an imposter.
Yeah.
And so our goal is to look for the empowered meaning, no matter what's happened and reframing it so that we can continue to move forward with a sense of self-worth in our humanness. It's not about I'm all good. It's that, hey, I've got strengths and weaknesses. I'm human just like everyone else.
Yeah.
And we're all on this journey together. When I was a young therapist 35 years ago, I thought I had to be an expert, and they come in with a problem. I scan my database and I help them with it.
Yeah, fix it.
And now, over the years, I've seen the value of being a human with a person.
Yeah.
And it's very much a give and take relationship, a giving and receiving.
Yeah.
And your example of being vulnerable and authentic and living out your purpose is a wonderful mentor or reference for all of us being here at Matone.
Yeah, I'm trying. And I consider you a mentor. And you really helped me because I came into to being a counselor later in life. I was 41, 42. And so I had a lot to learn. And so it was great to have you and others to help guide me. I really thought you were going to bring up Stevie Nicks.
I was gonna wait. I was gonna say landslide.
Landslide.
That is like my go-to song.
Me too.
And but then I also cry every time I listen to it too. So
I know.
It's
I know. It's like, is it good or not? Yeah.
And sometimes I do get emotional with clients, and I know that there's boundaries about the professional relationship, but sometimes they're feeling something and you feel it.
Right.
And I've had people say, thank you for showing me how I feel.
Yeah. Yeah. It's it's a fine line with like self-disclosure and, making sure like, okay, is this going to help the client? Yeah. Okay. Well, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for joining us. And, I'm just thrilled you've been with us for 10 years and part of my life, and that you're here to help so many others.
It's a pleasure and a privilege.
Okay. Thank you.